Hi friends, thanks for tuning into this special feature video. The cut is always an interesting time, and with so much going on, I'd like to give you a roadmap. This will explain what everyone needs to make the cut, and my predictions. While the cut itself does create a lot of drama and excitement, it's always heartbreaking when surfers are officially eliminated, and their dreams, hopefully only temporarily, crushed. With that in mind, we'll still try to have some fun with this. I absolutely love crunching these numbers and making these videos, and I'm actively trying to grow this channel. So any subscriptions, likes, or comments are greatly appreciated. Please feel free to go after me in the comments for any bad picks I make. For any of you who do not follow this extremely closely, here's a quick rundown on the WSL scoring. Scoring is done by placing, and here's how the surfers are placed. After 2 silly rounds that eliminate 4 of the 36 surfers, we are left with 32. The eliminated 4 leave with 33rd place. The remaining 32 face off in head-to-head matchups in which the 16 losing surfers leave with 17th place. The remaining 16 compete again, leaving the 8 losers with 9th place. Then those 8 make 4 losers in 5th place, and so on until we have a champion. This means that surfers can only get 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 9th, 17th, or 33rd place. Here are their corresponding point values, with 1st place getting 10,000 points on down. This is the 5th event of the season, and surfers keep their top 4 results, not counting their worst placing. For the men, 10 surfers have already made the cut. The point total of number 10 being 13,490. This is important to use as a benchmark for qualifying. Currently, 22nd place, which is the last qualifying spot, is a score of 9,010. To make the cut, surfers will need to beat that mark and probably a whole lot more. When I render my prediction for each surfer, I'll use this very annoying buzzer for out and this equally annoying sound for in. We'll start with the men because I think the women are way more interesting. In 11th place is Rio Waida. No matter what happens, Rio is most likely in, although it would be easy for him to make up some points since he's holding on to a 33rd that should easily turn into a 17th. Rio is in. Liam O'Brien in 12th place should also be in regardless of what happens, but he could make it official with a 9th place finish to get to 14,705. Liam is in. Leo Fioravanti in 13th place is probably in regardless as well. Same deal for him. If he gets a 9th, he's at 14,000. Leo is in. In 14th place is Matt McGillivray and Connor O'Leary. There's a good chance both these guys are in regardless, but if they get a 9th place or better and drop their 17th, that'll get them to at least 14,000 points and in past the cut. Matt is in. Connor is in. In 16th place is Yago Dora. A 9th place gets him over 13,000. A 17th or worse would mean he needs less than 7 guys to surpass his points to be safe. Yago Dora, in. In 17th place is Ryan Callanan with 11,000. Ryan's holding on to a pesky 33rd and should easily be able to turn that into a 17th. That would get him to 12,000 points, which is the same as Matt and Connor. With a 33rd or worse, Ryan would need less than 5 guys to surpass his point total. Ryan is in. In 18th place is Italo Ferreira and Imai Kalani DeVault. Both these guys would need a 9th place to get to 12,715 to most likely be safe. However, a 5th gets them to 14,000 and they're definitely good there. But with a 17th place or worse, it gets real iffy. Italo is in. Imai Kalani is out. In 20th is Gabriel Medina. It is insane that he is even in this discussion with the kind of talent he possesses, but he needs to drop that 17th. A 9th would get him to 12,000 points, and a 5th would get him to 13,000. If he does end up in 17th place or worse, he'll need no more than 2 people surpassing his points total. Yikes. But Gabe is in. In 21st place is Ramsey Bukayam. Ramsey's dropping to 33rd, which is great, so an easy 17th should get him to 10,725 points in a tie for 20th. I would not feel good about that if I was him, so a 9th gets him to 12,000 and a 5th to 14,000. With a 33rd or worse, he'll need no more than 1 person passing him in points. Ramsey is out. In 22nd place, the last spot to qualify is Ian Gentile. A 17th place gets him 10,000 points and 20th position. That's probably not good enough. A 9th gets him to 12,000 and a 5th to 13. There's a good chance that the 9th is good enough, but I'd feel much better if I was getting the 5th if I was him. With a 33rd place finish, Ian will need a miracle. Ian Gentile is in. 23rd place is Cade Madsen and Seth Moniz. A 9th place improves their situation to 10,725, but that doesn't get them out of the woods necessarily. A 5th would be good for 12,000, or a 3rd would be better for 13,490. If either one of these guys place 17th or worse, they are out. Cade Madsen is out. Seth Moniz is in. Oh man, look at this. First of all, sorry about that graphic. 25th, 25th. Anyways, that should say 25th. You get it. Sammy Pupo, Miguel Pupo, Jacob Wilcox, Federico Moraes, and Kyle Ibelli. These guys need some work to make the cut. A 9th place would put them in 22nd place. Not where you want to be. A 5th place gets them to 18th, and some hope is there. A 3rd gets them to 12,000, where it's much more likely they'll qualify, and a 2nd makes it a sure thing. These guys have a long way to go, but they'll just take it one heat at a time. Jacob Wilcox is out. Federico, also out. Kaio, out. Miguel, out. Sammy Pupo is in. That brings us to 30th place in Callum Robson. Callum needs a lot of work. A 5th place takes him to 21st. A 3rd gets him to 17th, where he could be safe. But if I'm Callum, I'm trying to win this whole thing, because that is the only way he's completely safe. I say with the 2nd, he's probably there too, but I'm trying to go all the way. And now I'm inspired. I'm sorry, Sammy Pupo, you are now out. Callum Robson, you're in. And that, obviously, is my dark horse pick. In 31st place, Eli, David Silva, and Kelly. Technically, they could be alive with a 3rd place. That would get them in 20th overall. They probably need a 2nd or even a 1st, which would get them to 13,990. Kelly's out, David's out, Eli is out. Moving on to the women, the point values are exactly the same, except there is no 33rd place, being that they have half as many competitors. Now, a 17th for the women is just as bad as a 33 for the men, and just as easy to achieve. Currently qualified in 6th place is Brissa Hennessy with 19,300. The last qualifying spot in number 10 is Gabrielle O'Brien with 14,710 points. And it's likely going to take a lot more than that to stay there. In 7th place is Tatiana Weston Webb. She should be good regardless. She could probably take this event off, but a 5th gets her to 20,320 and a sure thing into the second half of the season. Tati is in. Oh, much like Gabrielle on the men's side, Tyler Wright. No one would have thought she'd be struggling to make the cut here, but that's the situation we're in. Now, it's possible that Tyler could do nothing and still qualify for the back half, but a 5th gets her to 17,765, which would be very helpful. A 3rd makes it a sure thing, and I suppose technically a 2nd gets her in officially, although a 3rd should be plenty. With a 9th place or worse, things get real tricky for Tyler, and she'll need to be passed by no more than 2 people. Tyler is in. In 9th place is Luana Silva and Gabrielle O'Brien. Getting a 5th place would be very helpful for these ladies, but a 3rd would really get the job done. Getting 9th place or worse, and you never know what's going to happen. There would only need to be 1 or 2 people passing them, and they're out. I say 1 or 2 because technically Luana's in 9th and Gabby's in 10th, and I don't know that much about tiebreakers. Gabby Bryan is in. Luana Silva, out. In 11th place is Lakey Peterson. Now, Lakey's currently out of the top 10 that qualify, but she's actually in a better position than 9th and 10th place because she's holding on to a 17th. A 9th place will take Lakey to 8th overall, which is extremely likely, but a 5th will make it official at 18,185. If Lakey does end up in 17th place, though, she is out. But I do not think that will happen. Lakey Peterson is in. In 12th place, we have Sawyer Lindblad and Isabella Nichols. 5th place just probably won't do it for them. 3rd place in this event gets them 16,000 in 8th place. 2nd would also put them in 8th place, but much more likely to hold on to it. With the 9th place, both of these girls are out. Sawyer Lindblad, out. Isabella, out. In 14th place is Sally Fitzgibbons, India Robinson, and Alyssa Spencer. So much work to do, and I would love to see one of them do it. I just don't think it will happen. These girls need at least a 2nd place for any chance at all. A 3rd or worse, and they are out. And I'm afraid that's it for India, Alyssa, and Sally. And in 17th place is Sophie McCulloch. Sophie's position is a little more interesting because she only has 3 results in the bank so far, meaning this 4th result will count no matter what, and she won't drop any result. So, she needs a first place. A second or worse, and she is out, and I'm afraid that is the case. Sophie is out. Now here is a list so you can see what we just went over. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to roast me. I'll be highlighting my favorite comments in future videos. The Lord Kookington public link and the WhatsApp surf chat are open for business, links in description, along with my fantasy research to help you. And that's it. Stay kooky out there, everyone.